YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with my NFL Week 4 locks of the week. We do this video every single week, taking a look at my straight-up locks, my spread locks, over-under locks, and upsets of the week. We also have recaps, power rankings, and predictions, score predictions as well on the channel every single week. We have extra content available on our Patreon, patreon.com/thegoathouse. Link in the description. You can get weekly updated mock drafts, playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, and more. And 40K is our subscriber goal. Like I said, we got you covered with NFL content all year long. So please subscribe, help us out. Click that like button. Check us out on Twitter, tweeting during live games. So, straight up locks, I got two of them. The Chargers would be the easy route over the Dolphins. So I gave another one. I like the Rams over the Bucks. Going back home, they struggled a little bit on offense last week. I think they really get things going on offense. I think Goff bounces back. I don't think the Buccaneers will score. I don't think they'll go out there and score a bunch of points either. I think the Rams should have it they should feel pretty comfortable with that one at home. And the Chargers, even though they, start off pretty poor early in the year, they are playing the Dolphins. They're a much better team than the Dolphins. They should win it. But I didn't want to go with just that one. Every week you could go whoever's playing the Dolphins. So I try to give another one. I'm undefeated with the straight-up picks so far this year. I've not lost, and I'm above 500 in all the other categories with the straight-up 5-0 so far this year. The next one is a spread pick. I really like the Texans -4 against Carolina. They are home. I think they'll be able to move the ball. And, I do worry about the Texans' offense, or defense, I should say, but not really against, this Panthers offense. I think the Texans can slow down McCaffrey enough. He'll play a good game, but the Texans don't let themselves get beat on the run, and that's how the Panthers will beat teams. That'll also open up the passing game, but I don't think it'll be opened up all that much. I think they'll score some points, but I just like the Texans at home here, especially by at least a touchdown here. So I'm going the Texans -4 against the Panthers. Was surprised that was that low of a line. Next game, I like the Chiefs -6.5. As long as it stays under a touchdown, I like it. The Chiefs should win by at least a touchdown here. The Lions have been winning games because how unique their defense is, the different looks they give, and I don't think that'll phase Patrick Mahomes. Now, if it does, then we're kind of going back and saying the Lions are legit. They can throw some offense teams, off, which they have done, and I've been impressed with, but it's a different team here. The Chiefs inside for Patrick Mahomes. He'll air it out. I like them -6.5. As long as that says 7 or below, I like it a lot. They should win by at least a touchdown, so that's why I would keep an eye on that. Next one, I got another one here. The more the better. Why not? Seahawks -5. I did have the Seahawks on here with a spread lock last week, and that did not work out. Little fluky things. Chris Carson fumbling, the Saints picking it up, running it back, and then a punt return. But the Saints and the Cardinals, not the same team. I think the Seahawks will get going. They'll get that running game going. That's what they're known for. That's what they did best last year, better than anybody in the league. I think they can get that going in this game, no problem, and that opens up everything else. That's why I like Seattle winning by at least. There has to be at least 10 points here. So -5 looks pretty good there. And I got quite a few over-unders. I like the under on the Jags-Broncos game. 38.5. I did do score predictions, so you can go check that out, see the exact score. But this has got to be very low scoring. Two defensive teams. I think the Broncos can move the ball a little better than people think. They have been doing so, just very unlucky with turnovers and some penalties over the last couple weeks. So, if anybody's going to put up points, I think the Broncos could, but I don't see it being a lot. I also think, Minshew's capable of throwing the ball downfield and putting up points. But that running game has not been so hot in Denver. I think the Broncos know they have to just game plan for the pass. They can slow down that running game pretty easily. I think Vic Fangio can have a solid game plan on this one, and as well as Jacksonville on the defensive side. So that's why I like under 38.5 here. I got a few of these here. Some more unders. 45.5 seems like a lot here for Tennessee and Atlanta. It's in Atlanta. Sure, the Falcons can get something going in offense, but I really like this. I like this Tennessee defense. It's going to stop the run first. That's guaranteed, and that's what I like. It also has a pretty darn good secondary. I think they'll kind of focus on Julio once they can shut Julio down. I think that slows the Falcons down enough. They can definitely get their hands on the ball, get some turnovers. Matt Ryan has been super accurate, and the offensive line could be to blame for that. I don't see the Falcons putting up a lot of points, and obviously the Titans, if they do win this game like I'm predicting them to, it's going to be purely because of defense. They're not going to put up a bunch of points on offense. 45.5 seems a bit much, so I do like the under there. And another under is the Vikings and the Bears, 38.5. Another 38.5. I feel pretty good about this one. I just don't see these quarterbacks, especially against these defenses, going out and putting up a bunch of points. The only way I see the Bears putting up a good amount of points is if they get fancy. The trickery of Matt Nagy works, and the only reason I see the Vikings putting up points if Dalvin Cook goes absolutely wild, which he has been, but they haven't really played a defense like the Bears, maybe the best defense still in football. So really, I don't see. I think both pass rushes can get after the quarterbacks. I don't really see either of these offenses putting up a good amount of points. It's a defensive game. The reason would be for this to go over is defensive touchdowns or defensive turnovers, setting the offense up for really easy touchdowns, which is possible. I just, even if they do get those turnovers, I think they'll need to score on defense. I think both defenses are capable of holding that team to 3 points, even if they do get an insane field position off of a turnover. 38.5, I definitely like the under. Here's an over. I like the unders a little better. I want to throw an over out there that I do like. The Bengals and the Steelers, 43.5. I think it goes over. Both these, the Steelers defense hasn't really. It's a solid defense, but it hasn't really lived up to what we expected, I guess. And there's a reason why their offense hasn't. But I think Mason Rudolph gets going in this game. The Bengals defense a little weak. I think they'll be able to throw the ball downfield, and I think they'll make Connor, an impact player in this type of game. I think the Bengals will be able to throw the ball downfield on the Steelers. I'm not a huge fan of their secondary. That's why they got Minkah Fitzpatrick. Can that one guy make a huge impact this early? He can make a little impact, but nothing crazy. I think both teams score over 24 points here, which will result in an over here. I do like the unders a lot better. However, my upsets of the week, I got a few upsets this week. I like the Titans, like I said, against the Falcons. It's a tough call there. Titans haven't been looking too good, but either has the Falcons. It's in Atlanta. Both these teams are away. I do like the Redskins, even though a lot of people are picking them. They are the underdogs by 3 points. I do like them winning that game. I think the Redskins will be able to open up and throw downfield, like I mentioned earlier. I think the Titans' defense is better than people think. I think they'll win that game. I do have other upsets that are pretty close in terms of who I have winning, and they're considered upsets because of the line. But Thursday night games, I put in this video before, and they've been weird, so I'm kind of staying away from that. I did pick the Eagles, but that's kind of a bold prediction. And a Thursday night game, you cannot predict the outcome looking at the game so far this year, and if you look at it last year too, for the most part. So those are my upsets. We'll see how I do this week here on my locks of the week, and we're back every single week. Like I said, we have score predictions on the channel. We have straight up picks with multiple members of our channel picking, so you get more perspectives. We got power rankings, recaps, plenty more to come. Thanks everyone for the support. It's been awesome. Thanks for watching this video. Goodbye.